Okay, guys, welcome back. Once again, you are here with the Dragon. And some may recognize this bike and remember the story, but I'm going to go into quite a bit of detail about the story. Talk about what I got this bike for, how I got it, what I got with it, praise it. I've been riding it, and yeah, that's basically it. So here we go. This is 2007 Suzuki DRZ400S. Like I say, it's my personal bike. It was a customer's bike. That's how I was first introduced to it. Basically, the guy bought this thing brand new in 2007 at a local dealership here in town that no longer exists, and rode it for a year and a half, not a lot, but a little bit, and put 2,600 miles on it, and then it basically sat. Then he tried to come out and start it one time, and it wouldn't start, and many, many years went by. And then I think he had a little work done again a few years later, had it running, and then never rode it, took it home and never rode it again. And it sat in his barn ever since. Then he brought it to me to get it going, and rebuilt the carburetor, flushed out the fuel system. We bled all or flushed all the brake fluid. Just went over the thing really good. He said, so he could start riding it again. But when he came to pick it up, he told me the real story. He needed money, and he didn't think he could get anything for it not running. So he got it running. I think his bill, labor was like $450, and he bought some parts, oil filter, carb kit, stuff like that, maybe $100 or something, a little over $100 when it was all said and done. And so anyway, when he came to pick the thing up, sorry, I'll do a little walk around. I get yakking. So when he came to pick it up, he confided in me that he needed money pretty bad. And that was the whole reason he was doing it, and wondered if I wanted to make a cash offer. So I jumped right on it because I mean, that happens to me quite often, but looking at this thing. And so I just told him, I said, listen, here's what I can do for you, and that's it. Take it or leave it. I'll forgive your bill of $450, and I'll give you $1,000 cash right now. And he looked at me, he's like, really? And then I looked at him and I was like, really? So he says, well, I don't have the title with me right now. So why don't I go ahead and load it up? I'm going to take it home. I'm going to think on it a little bit, and I'll call you in a couple days. Well, I figured he was going to go try to sell it for more money or research and find out, the cost of it. I just figured there's no way it's going to happen. The guy calls me back 2 hours later and says, all right, let's do it. I couldn't get over there fast enough. So much so, because I remember the guy, and I don't do this often, but he's one of those old school guys. He's older than me. And he didn't have cash, or he don't have credit cards or anything. So he wrote me a check. And he said, well, I asked that you bring the check back, let me tear it up, so I know that's what happened, and we'll fill out the title and all this kind of stuff here in front of me. He was very, cautious and all that kind of stuff. So I went over there so quick that I forgot the check. So I had to turn around like 30 minutes round trip, go get the check. I was so excited and wanted to get this. I wanted to get that signed title so quick, I just couldn't do it fast enough. When I got there, and we did the deal, that's what it was, $1,000 cash, and I forgave his bill of $450. However you want to see it, I either gave $1,000 for it, or I gave $1,450. So you be the judge. But anyway, when I go to pick it up, man, and there was more stuff, but I've used some things, and some stuff's not here. But he had all kinds of stuff. It comes with the kickstart kit. I'll show you that in a second. But here's like another bag that goes on the back. It might have came with that, and he took it off to put the rack on. Check into that. One little cheap oil filter. I already used the other one, and he gave me a bunch of oil. Another, what's that, a twin air, dual stage. All the books. There's some pretty cool stuff here. Tips, practice guide for off-road highway motorcycle. All the pamphlets and everything. Like I say, bought it brand new. I'll talk about that. I already changed the sprocket on the front. So here's the side cover gasket and everything you need for the kickstart and the seal and everything. And then the kit. Now he paid extra for this. It was back then, it was $250 something from Suzuki. But I'll show you, they have provisions. All of them have this. But it comes with everything you need, all the gears, the kickstart's in here, everything you need to put it on here. And it also, this is a decompression cable, but I'm told on these you don't need that. So we'll see when I dig into it. I do want to do that soon. I think it's great. I know you can't see in there. I'm sorry. Maybe next time I'll do a better job. But yeah, the kickstart's in there, spraying everything that you need. I know I said that, but I've said it again. Everything you need to do the kickstart is in there. And I'll show you on the other side. Most of you that are watching this video already know about this because you're probably a DRZ fan. You know everything. Because you get a little crazy with these bikes, I noticed. But yeah, here's your provision. So you knock this plug out, you put a seal in, and you get that little short shaft that comes with it, sub shaft with the kickstart. See, they already have the indentation in the exhaust because that's where the kickstart goes. Okay, so anyway, that's the story of how I got it there. There's a couple little dings and scrapes. Apparently it fell over in his shed. His kid knocked it over or something. So that did happen. But so basically how I wanted to approach this was everybody mods them out, you know, right away and everything. And I'm different. I like to ride it as stock as possible first and then do each mod one at a time. So I actually get to experience, you know, how much it improved it and what works and what doesn't work. So I've been just riding it stock. You can see it still actually has the stock tires on it. And they're not in bad shape. The back one is getting a little wore down, but you see it's still got chunks on it. It's taken me some places, let me tell you. And we'll go over that too. But the very first thing I usually do to almost every bike I own is I usually change the front sprocket. So yeah, I went down from the 15 to the 14 on the front. Okay, now what I wanted to do was go out and ride all the trails and do all that same stuff I was doing and the same trails I was doing so I could see the difference. But I haven't had any time to do it, so I just rode it around locally on the road and up and down some hills, and I could see a difference in it, but until I get on the trails, I don't know if it's going to give me what I want. These things just have a tall first gear, and although it'll go up anything, I don't like the feel of it for technique-wise. I like a little more, that first gear, you know, I want it really low. So I'm not sure if that's going to do it. I know I can jump up on the back, but I don't want to lose too much, you know, road speed. I just want to do a little at a time. So then the next thing I wanted to do was work on this carburetor as cheap as possible, because the true thing would be to go with the flat slide FCR 39 or whatever, or something, you know, like that or better. That's where you should spend your money, obviously. But I thought, hey, I'm going to do some cheap mod to the carb, jet kit, you know, whatever. And I actually found this cheap one from overseas, X-Jetting. It's only $20, and it comes with everything else, the DG and all that kind of stuff does. It's got jets all the way from like 150 main up to 180. It's got the 25 slow jet, and it's got two different needles to choose from, just like the other kits. You know how they have green and blue needle or red needle or whatever. It's the same thing. It's just cheaper version of it. It's 20 bucks. Got it off of eBay. And that's all I need to do, because if I'm going to spend money on a carburetor, I'm going to save and get the right carburetor and be done with it. This thing is amazing. It definitely lives up to the hype. I've rode about everything there is to ride. I've been working on motorcycles since, I had a mini bike when I was 12 that I used to have to get started all the time. So I think that's where it started, and I haven't stopped since. And now that's my livelihood. As you can see, you know, I work on a lot of motorcycles. So I get to ride a lot of motorcycles. I've rode every dirt bike there is on trails, you know, cross country, motocross, whatever. And so it's hard to impress me, but I think I have to say that this bike definitely lives up to the hype. I had an XR250 that I took on similar, or not similar, the same trails that I took this bike on. And on that 250, I got stuck where I could not get up the steep hills. Now, these hills also have ruts as deep as your bike and boulders twice the size that you're dodging to get up. It's pretty gnarly. It's a power line trail, and also it's like a state park area. I'll talk about that too, because I can take this bike on these Jeep trails and fire trails and all that legally because it's actually registered. So you can have any registered vehicle, and you can, there's so much to do there. So anyway, I had that 250 there, and I got stuck on a couple hills and had to take the long way. It just would not do it. And first try, this thing just walked right up that hill. I remember the one guy says it makes him look like a better rider than he really is. And I can see what they're saying. Same thing, there's a squirrely hill right off of those power lines to come back out to the road. There's a pretty squirrely hill that's on a 90-degree sharp turn that usually I got to really spin and kind of go back and forth, zigzagging to get up the damn thing. And this DRZ just about idled up the thing, exaggerating a little bit. But it was funny because I was like giving it hell. And then I realized, it just let off a little and it'll just walk right up it. And that's what it does. So these are definitely amazing bikes. On the road, it's fun too. It's really quick and nimble, and I have a lot of fun. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm here getting ready to do. I'm going to throw that jet kit in here, and I'm hoping to get this thing out on the trail soon. Right now, it's pouring down, raining outside, and the trails that I go to, I prefer them to be damp but not wet, because when they're wet, they're real wet, and they're nasty and grimy, and I don't want to get my bike dirty. So I hose this thing off every time I bring it back. The last time I got in a hell of a mess. The trail was basically a natural spring that had formed a river down the road, and I was just buried tires deep in this stuff. It was crazy. It took me forever to get that red mud off of there or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to do me a little bit of mods to it. I'm going to do this 3x3. I'm going to do jet and carb. I'm going to cut the hole in the box. I'm going for it. I'm going to do that, and then I'll work up, next probably to an exhaust, and then maybe, I'm sorry. Nope, let me back up. The next thing I'm doing is getting some new tires. I forget what they were. I think it was the Kendas that I was looking at everybody gets. Better knobby tire, but still good street use. So I'll be doing that next. But anyway, that's going to be about it for now, guys. I'll probably shoot some videos maybe while I'm in the middle of this. I'm not going to do an instructional video. There's plenty of those out there, so I don't need to do another one. But I will talk about my experience, and I'm trying to find me an inexpensive GoPro, because I can't afford, $500, or I can't even afford $300 for one, but maybe $100 for one. A decent GoPro that I can take on these trails. You guys are going to love it. It's a great place to ride. It's called Sleepy Creek Wildlife Reserve. I'm sorry. Management area. That's what it is. Sleepy Creek Wildlife Management Area. I knew I'd get that out. And it's pretty cool. But I'll get some video of that also. So, okay, that's about all the rambling on. Thanks for taking the time. If you watched this entire video, you're probably sleeping by now, but wake up, it's over. Peace out.